Well, the day is finally here. This is the highly teased, no one has asked for, no one really cares desk tour. I'm filming on my iPhone 12 because I wanted to show you where my main camera is, how it's set up as well. So anyway, I've been teasing this video for about, let's say 6 months. About 2 months into the pandemic, we just realized that we were going to be here for the long term, so I just started ramping up my setup here. My desk setup began over there. My desk setup started off with the IKEA Linman desk. That's the kind of cheapest IKEA desk you could find. And then it evolved into this desk here. But then I moved my setup over here, next to the window over here. Eventually I moved it over to here. And now it's back over here. But let's start with the desk. This is a desk from Wayfair, or it's from one of their Wayfair site, All Modern. This is the Langston desk, and I think it's out of stock right now as of this recording, but I love this. This desk is so wide. I'll put the specs on how wide and deep it is, but basically there is so much room that I have on this desk, and I like to keep my desk as clean as possible. So I like this desk, very solid top, allows me to do a monitor arm, which I'll get into very soon. Speaking of the monitor, this is one of my new additions to my setup. This is a 35-inch ultra-wide monitor from Monoprice, but actually this is a really good monitor. The viewing angles is not too bad. Speaking of which angles, this is a curved monitor as well. And this is, if you've never had an ultra wide monitor, you really don't know what you're missing. But this basically takes the place of my previous two 24-inch monitors, all rolled up into one monitor. This is on a monitor stand. This is the Vivo monitor stand. I used to have a dual arm monitor stand with two monitors, but now I've switched to the ultra wide. I only need a single monitor arm. But anyway, if you've never used a monitor arm as well, I think it's a game changer basically for me as far as being at a desk. It really reduces the clutter, and especially if you have a tighter space, having a monitor arm is awesome. And new addition here is my Mac Mini. This is an M1 chip Mac Mini. This has 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of SSD space. Then I have a Samsung T7 500 gigabyte hard drive. So essentially I have about a terabyte of space to work with, because this one is always connected to it. Now, one of the complaints that people have with the new Macs that are out is the lack of ports. So I have this dock. This is a Thunderbolt 3 dock. This is the Caldigit TS3 Plus dock. Now this has so many ports. I believe it has 4 USB-A ports, 1 USB-C. It has another Thunderbolt 3 pass-through port as well. You can do display port as the monitor output. And then on the front it has another USB-A and a USB-C and a card reader as well. But actually the Mac Mini has an additional 2 USB-A ports as well. So as far as ports are concerned, I'm really good now because of this dock. My keyboard of choice is the Keychron K2. And this is an awesome keyboard. I've mentioned this before. This is my first mechanical keyboard. This one has linear switches, so it's not as clickety as other type of switches. Anyway, I did customize the white keycaps. It used to be all gray, so this is something with mechanical keyboards you can do, is customize it to your own liking as well. Now the mouse of choice here is the Logitech M720. You can use this up to 3 devices, and so I can use it on my iPad here, my Mac Mini, or my MacBook Pro. This is also branded as a Logitech Pro mouse, or the Triathlon. If you're looking this up on Amazon and you see like a couple different listings, they're really all the same mouse. Make sure it's either the Pro, the Triathlon, the 720. They're all the same mouse, so just look for the cheapest one. I'll try to link the cheapest one, at least at the time of this recording, in the description below. Now, rounding up what's on my desk, let's go start with this side. I have my coffee here. I have this generic LED lamp that I really like. Touch sensitive controls. I can change the temperature of this light as well. I have a remote control to my video light that I'll get into in a second. Let's get into these speakers. These are Logitech 2.1 speakers. I have a subwoofer below. So I'll get into this in a moment. Moving on to the left side of the desk, I have an Amazon Echo Show. This is the 5-inch version. Got this on a Prime deal. And then rounding out the rest of the desk here is, this is my wireless Qi charger stand. It's a little wooden one. I got this also a long time ago. What's powering my video setup is not a webcam, but this guy. This is the Sony a6500, and this is an older camera, but I used to do more photography than video. I'm doing more video now, but this is an awesome camera. This is really an awesome video camera as well. It doesn't have a flip out screen, so I have this little box here that's kind of like a mirror so I can see what's on the screen behind. But the lens on this is a Sigma 16mm 1.4, and the f1.4 is really allows the how much light comes in, but it also, because of this lens and how wide the aperture is, that allows me to have a very blurry background in my Zoom calls and my video calls too. So I have a lot of depth in my video calls. So this is being mounted on a Ballhead mount, but that is being clamped onto the monitor arm through these little clamps. This is a clamp by SmallRig. I love these clamps. I can clamp any kind of photography, lighting equipment on anything basically. So I highly recommend these SmallRig clamps. For example, I have another clamp with a light attached to it above here, and I use that kind of as a hair light sometimes. So now there's an HDMI cable coming out of my camera being fed into this guy. This is the Atem Mini. This is a camera switcher. Basically, this is a glorified capture card, but I am able to do 4 different inputs into there. So I have this cable running here that I can attach my iPad to. So if I want to show something on my iPad, I can do that. If I want to attach other cameras to this setup, I can easily switch between 4 different inputs. So my main input right now is this main guy. But to up my game on the video quality as well, you need good lighting. So this guy here, this is a big shoot-through umbrella, which I had before actually. But what's powering this is a cheap video light by Newer. And Newer basically makes a lot of video and photography equipment that the name brands do, the higher end people do, but they actually just, frankly, they clone a lot of their things, but they do have high quality clones, if you would say. This is a 60-watt light, and I'm going to turn it on here with this remote that I have. I could change the brightness here of this light. The only downside I see with this light is it's really the loudest thing in this room now, with the fans going on. Now that I switched to a Mac Mini with the M1 chip, I don't have any fan noise from my computer. And so this is the main thing that causes the noise. But yeah, that's on a light stand that I had a long time ago as well. Now, what the shoot-through umbrella allows me to do is it diffuses the light and allows to have a softer light on my face. So if I didn't have that shoot-through umbrella, it'd be like a spotlight, or like I'm being interrogated for something I did. Now I have an audio interface connected to my computer. This is the Audient Evo 4, and what an audio interface allows me to do is connect multiple microphone inputs. And I can connect up to 2 inputs at a time here, and I can also connect 1 instrument if I needed to. Then I can also power more powerful speakers if I had them with this audio interface. But this allows me to have more high quality audio. The microphone that's attached to it is this guy. This is the ISK BM800, I think. One of my coworkers gave this to me. I think he said one of the students who was graduating, they said they didn't want it anymore, and so they just left it, and he asked me if I wanted it. I'm pleasantly surprised on how awesome it is. Kind of gives a fuller sound to all my audio. This is on a generic monitor stand, so I can just kind of put it away when I'm not using it. Now, kind of wrapping up my audio setup here is I have this headphone stand here at the edge, and I have two headphones actually attached to it. Now, this is my newest addition to my audio stuff. This is the Wise noise canceling headphones. These are becoming one of my favorite kind of new acquisitions now. These are very comfortable, active noise canceling, and very cheap, or relatively inexpensive for what they are. I will do a video on this very soon, but I will eventually do an update video on the noise canceling part when I start to travel. But the other headphones I have on here are these wired, generic branded, well, it's a brand called Moano. Very inexpensive, but very good sounding. And again, I'm not an audiophile. Now, the reason why I want to have a wired option of headphones is some of the video conferencing software, they don't play well with Bluetooth headsets sometimes. Zoom does, luckily. So yeah, so that kind of rounds that off. I got a USB charging hub there because I plug in a lot of things. Then I got just some random things, but they're not so random on these built-in shelves. A lot of these are things that I know where things are, and a lot of it is just in case something happens. So just in case my camera connection is not good, I have another USB webcam down there. Just in case something happens with my audio stuff, I have some, headphones down there, both wired and wireless. Just in case my computer's having issues, I can reach back here and get one of my other computers. So I have some work computers, my other laptop, my MacBook Pro, that I can just reach over in a pinch. That's a lot of things that I like to do on my setup, is make sure I have contingency plans just in case something goes wrong with any part of this setup. I'm trying to get to a point where I have really nothing on the ground other than shelves and other things that can't be, lifted up, like my space heater. Even my guitar I might hang up eventually too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, let me just say this is an over-the-top kind of setup, but when I realized that I was going to be at home for the long term, and even after this pandemic, it seems like I'll be working from home on a permanent basis, I kind of wanted to make this space my own. I know it's over the top, but I wanted to be the most productive, and then it's kind of a hobby of mine, or I just kind of enjoy watching other people set up, and I was like, let me try to make my dream setup here as well. And as far as the video production is concerned, that's kind of been my main new hobby over the past couple years. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of up my production game in that sense as well. Anyway, I know this is over the top, and I realize that I am lucky to be in a position where I have a job, I can do some of these improvements. I realize a lot of you are struggling out there as well, and so I really hope you are doing well. Just again, I would say, let's take care of one another, let's be responsible, and let's just get through this time in a good way. So anyway, until the next video, see ya.